Alright, hey guys, UnoPro here today, and something I'm extremely excited for, something a lot of people have been waiting to come onto the English servers for a while, and that is the draft mode, which is currently live on the Chinese server, though not yet on the English server, and today I'm going to be trying it with you guys for the first time I've ever done it. So we're going to dive right in. I really don't know how it's going to go, but I am extremely excited. So it looks like we get an option of 12 heroes. So, where to begin starting? Well, I kind of want to avoid heroes reliant on specific abilities, most likely. So I'm guessing stuff like Ignatius might not be as strong, though. Maybe just having standard stats is fine. Probably you can make an argument that the spell level is probably lower than the creature level. So that leads me to consider Alchemist, because with only one spell school, maybe we're less likely to get Earth spells. Well, not less likely to get Earth spells, just less likely to get spells in general, and we can just fill our deck with good creatures. Though, if it works like you get a certain number of spells, you get a certain number of fortunes, that kind of thing, then Earth magic is probably a little bit weaker on that side. There really are a lot of different options here. I'm tempted to just try Kiril. I mean, he has very nice fire and dark magic. Two personal favorites of mine, and very strong. 2 might, 1 magic. Seems very strong. Yeah, let's try Kiril. I haven't actually played with him in the standard, so. Alright. First spells. Osmotic Breeder seems the best. I mean, Death Seal's alright, but Osmotic Breeder, very nice minion, even in constructed, so let's go for that one. Definitely a choice between these two, but I'm definitely inclined to pick the Moon Phoenix, even though possibly you can gain more aggressive deck. It's nice that you can look at the cards that are coming up, so it actually can help shape your draft decisions. And we're not looking too aggressive, so I really feel like the Moon Phoenix is definitely the best option here. It's just a really good card, honestly. Now we have a decision. There are a couple of cards that aren't the same balance-wise as on the English servers. A couple different cards. I don't believe I've encountered this one yet. So, I mean, House of Madness is a decent card, I guess. Probably just one, cards that aren't too conditional. It seems like it'll be good on its own. Still, it has immune to retaliation. It's not too bad. Okay, and it actually is a fire creature for Kiril's ability. Not sure how much it'll come into play, but it's always nice. Okay, what do we have here? Sacrifice, more Kale. I don't think this will be very good. I doubt many people will be playing Fortunes. And these two are basically out of the options because they have 3 Fortune requirement. So basically, Moonsilk Feathers, it kind of has to be it. Alright, another interesting choice here. When Shadow Breeder attacks, increase the size of each adjacent friendly stacks by 1. Now, 2 of the creatures we do have stacks, though it is quite a hard choice. Definitely don't want either of these two. So now it's mainly between the Hellfire Boiler and the Shadow Breeder. It is a dark creature, so that's important to keep in mind for Kiril's ability. But Hellfire Boiler is a fire creature. Hellfire Boiler can be really good, but we don't know what kind of events we're going to get, and without an easy way to activate it, most of the time we'll just trade with a fellow 2-drop. I want to experiment with the new cards, and I don't see a huge difference. Maybe I'm making some big mistakes here. It's my first time doing it, so I really don't know. But I think we should try some of the new cards. Alright, here we have another choice. Just gonna stay away from the Maws of Chaos again. I doubt Fortunes will be too popular, especially because there's more heroes with 1 or 0 fortune than there is with 2 fortune, though that doesn't make a huge difference. But there's also just not that many good fortunes, or ones that aren't that situational. So Fire Blast definitely seems intriguing. Fire Splash seems like an okay card, but maybe the Lacerate is the best choice. It's a very solid creature. It's got good stats. We do have a couple of 4-drops already, but I think I'm just going to choose this one. Okay. Probably seems to be the worst one we've had so far. I see they've buffed this to stackable. Probably it's not going to be a good card, but it's something. We're thinking. I feel like we're going to be a pretty heavy creature deck, so this doesn't seem like it would help us too much. And it's not really a good combat card, especially when you don't have anything to combo with it. Destroying all ongoing spells on enemy creature seems a bit too situational. I think we just get the Hell Hand. I mean, here's a common. We could get another one. I don't know if that's what we want, but at least it's something. And just a solid creature. Maybe we drew our Firebolt and we traded 1 for 1, and we're happy with that. So I think I'll just take that. Okay, first thoughts here. Definitely the Firebolt. Delve into Madness. It's a pretty weak card, in my opinion. Firebolt seems like the most solid. Okay, here we have a choice. So we have the choice between 2 very powerful cards here. Now, Spellstealer Heretic. We only have a couple spells at the moment. But we do know that we could be getting an Alone in the Dark coming up. Maybe that could be good. So yeah, we do know we're probably going to be picking the Alone in the Dark here. I mean, Hellfire Cerberus is decent, but so it does depend if we want to pick the Spellstealer and have Alone in the Dark to back it up, or we just want the Soul Reaver, which will always just be very solid. We already have quite a few 4-drops. Probably a little bit early on in the draft to really know how many more we're going to get, but I'm inclined to just pick the Spellstealer Heretic. It's so good. We can pick the Alone in the Dark next turn, and I'm sure in a draft format, playing something like Alone in the Dark, a creature, into Spellstealer Heretic, play another Alone in the Dark, that just seems too good to pass up. So yeah, seems like a pretty easy choice here. On to the next one. Mercenary Archer. Don't think the Mercenaries will be very good at all. This card, it has some use, but mainly in a stall deck or one where you can punish your opponents for extending into AoE or just don't want to take damage, and that's not really what we want to be doing. Banish all cards in both graveyards doesn't seem very strong, so I'm not sure how good Despair will be, but it could be decent, so let's try it out. So now we have another choice. Fire Burst. Interesting card here. The 3 health is it's very low, but Fire Burst of 4 and effectively Trample from MTG. It seems like it could be a decent card. The Maniac will probably be a bit more consistent, and then we also have Lava Stream. I mean, it's an okay card, but I feel like I just want consistency. I mean, it is a fire creature for Kiril. This is probably the hardest decision I feel like I've had to make. I am interested in just trying out this card, and 3 health is so low though. But I mean, I'm not familiar with the draft format for DOC, as I have said, but in normal draft formats there tends to be a lack of good removal. And I mean, this is going to win all creature combat if it gets put onto an empty lane. So I'm tempted to try it out. The Maniac will be probably more consistent though. Well, we have no 5-drops, and we're looking kind of like a Fatty's Inferno deck a little bit. So let's just try it out. Okay, Cheap Death. Doesn't seem too good. Chaos Sorcerer was a card I loved playing with when I started the game. And it looks pretty good in a draft format, honestly. Good stats, immune to retaliation, area blast, all good stuff. Definitely, I mean, we can consider it, but it's pretty easy to play around. And the only time I want to be picking a card like this is to have a lot of spells that will punish people for playing adjacent creatures, and we really have none at the moment, so it doesn't seem worth. Mutual Agony. I mean, we are a slightly aggressive deck, but we're not something that's just trying to burn you out. We're trying to actually get good creatures on the board and just win through having really good creatures. So I think we just want the Chaos Sorcerers. Okay, so we're having Thrall. Now, obviously, Thrall is a very good card, but it's 6 magic. Though, I think we probably still want to pick it. I mean, Creeping Darkness is okay, but there's just so many better things I think we want to be doing on turn 4. And I feel like with this deck, we don't have a lot of AoE. We have no AoE. And if we fall behind on board, you know, we're not gonna be able to get back on to the board just because we put a 1-on counter on something. So I think I'm gonna choose the Enthrall. We do have some magic channel with the Spell Stealer. Obviously that's not a lot, but I think it's probably still the best choice. Okay, here we have another choice. Have Cerberus. Yep, something like that. Rage Fire. I mean, we do have a couple fire creatures, but probably still doesn't seem worth it. Void Avatar. I mean, I feel like we're a very straightforward creature deck, so drawing cards will probably be more beneficial to us. Void Rift. I mean, this could be possible, but the 3 fortune is way too high for this deck, so that's not an option. Looks like we are getting a call with the Void next. This could be nice. I think I'm going to pick this one. That's decent costed, get it out on an empty board, and it's hard to deal with. Okay, Call of the Void does definitely seem like the best choice here. Maybe this Gravid Breeder is a really good card, but I just don't feel like it's actually doing enough for warranting a card slot. So let's go with the Call of the Void. Death Seal is an option, but I feel like Death Seal we want it when we have a lot of small aggressive creatures, and here we're kind of more mid-rangey. So Horror Torment could give us a bit more extra reach. Yeah, not doing this one. Nah, probably not. None of them good. Horror Torment gives some extra burn. Instantly looking at the Hatching Breeder here. Very solid minion. Gives good value. I'm sure Urge or Baal's minion is actually quite decent. But I mean, Hatching Breeder. And we don't have any 2-drops, so seems like a pretty easy choice. Now we have the choice between the Firebolt and the Succubus. But with very few early drops, I don't feel like we want Firebolt as much. So I'm going to choose the Succubus, very solid creature. And one of the convenient things about Inferno is nearly everything's a demon, so Maniac Taskmaster does seem just way too good to pass up. I mean, yeah, stats are just too weak on that. Hellfire Maniac, a very good card, and I can imagine be really good in a draft format. Doesn't seem like a lot to talk about here. Seems like clearly the best choice. I mean, this could be okay, but we definitely want to avoid having to increase our fortune. Same with this one. So it seems like a pretty easy choice to go for another Hellfire. First choice instantly goes to the Thrall, though it does have the 1 fortune cost, which could be a bit awkward. I mean, maybe this is okay. We do have a lot of good things. Still a lot of big guys. It's a hard choice. I think I actually want to go for that because I just really want to avoid ever having to do my fortune up. Especially with high might creatures and even some higher magic spells. I think we have to avoid it. I'm not sure of the exact format, if there's a sideboard or something. We will find that out. So maybe we could have made some different decisions because of that. I think we're just going to go Fire Blast here. Ooh, now we have another choice. Have the Magma Burst. Very nice spell. Also the Hatching Breeder. I feel like I just want to get onto the board early and just beat them with good creatures. This could be a mistake. I definitely feel like this might be a mistake, but I definitely want to go with the Hatching Breeder. Alright, now we have some interesting choices. A couple cards I haven't seen before. And not really a very good card. Shadow Limb. That seems decent. I mean, it's nearly an elephant. Plus, the effect could be a bit relevant. Seems okay, but probably can get something a bit more consistent. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Shadow Limb. Interesting card, definitely. Okay. Seems okay, but let's see what else we have first. Yeah, not a really good card, especially with the 3 Fortune. So yeah, basically the options here are Flaring Rage or Hellhound. If we drafted the second Firebolt, maybe I would have gone for the Hellhound. Let's try the Flaring Rage out. It seems interesting. It is an ongoing spell. That could be good, especially if the games are particularly grindy. Well, we have no ways to discard, and we can't afford 3 Fortune. We have one-way discard, but yeah, obviously not that. This just seems extremely weak. I think Death Seal seems fine here. Probably Wither or Death Dodger. Our magic level won't be that high early on. I mean, it's probably still okay. We still have to get to Enthrall, and yeah, let's try it. Okay, seems like a pretty easy Firebolt here. Trying to speed it up. I don't want to make the video go too long. Now we have the choice between another Taskmaster or Alone in the Dark. Probably gonna go with the Taskmaster. It just seems a bit more consistent. Yeah. Ooh, here's a card. Interesting card. All friendly British access size 4. Yes. Just not sure we want that card. Like, if we have stacks with 4 or more sides, we're probably already winning anyway. And if the stats are a little bit mediocre, I think we'll just go for another Death Seal. I mean, guys, definitely don't take anything I say as factual, because this is my first time doing draft, and draft could be completely different. I'm just going on my first instincts here. So, what do we have here? Very little good options. I think I'm just going to go with the Fire Death. It's probably the only one that could be consistently useful. Well, I mean, it won't even be useful, but it could do something. Banishing all cards in graveyard, maybe that's okay, though I'm not sure how the... Oh, I just completely forgotten the Destiny level on Maniac Taskmaster. Well, now I look like an idiot. I guess we can try and use them late game, but yeah. That does not look... I don't look very smart now, do I? Well. And I grabbed this one as well. So, it's something to consider when you're playing draft. Ooh, what is this card? I mean, it seems pretty good. And here's an epic. Just checking the fortune level, okay. So guys, you can learn from my mistakes here. Even though you pay attention to it most of the draft, just keep paying attention to it. Because a lot of other draft games, such as like Hearthstone or something, you don't really have to pay attention to the requirements or anything. And requirements are very important in Duel Champions. We don't have a lot of defensive minions, which makes me want to choose the Urgewells. So maybe that's not where we want to be. We haven't really got any more stackable creatures. So let's just try this. Fire Elemental. Doesn't really combo with anything we have. But I mean, we don't have a lot of other good options, so I think we're just going to choose it anyway. Here we have a couple choice. I mean, this is decent. All very good options here. I'm not sure how this will do in the draft format, but I mean, we're not likely to be too high on cards. We're probably going to be playing... Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to be playing one spell a turn for quite a while. So maybe we don't want this, because we could even discard ourselves. The Lacerator seems good. Probably the most consistent, I would say. Dark Flame Fanatic. I don't expect that many spells to be played, and if it is, dealing 1 damage probably won't be as relevant. I think I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast here. Succubus. Trying to speed it up a little bit. mean, it's kind of weak. I think I probably just want this. Yeah. I mean, I think it's on this. Akrath Wrath. Okay, now we have a choice. What kind of deck do we want to be? Lava Spawn is obviously a really good card, and especially in aggressive deck, we have 2 might, so we can play it on turn 1, which is huge. Akrath's Wrath would give us something to come back on the board, and this is a really hard decision here. And this is where I wish I had a bit more experience drafting. I think I want to go with the Lava Spawn though, guys. I mean, Dark Magic works when you keep putting creatures out. It's really good in that kind of situation where you have creatures and you can support it with dark spells and, you know, making it hard for your opponent to block with firebolts. I think I want the Lava Spawn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with it. Interesting choice here. Say they're quite equal. Kind of want to avoid the Hellfire Blade a little bit because we don't know what events we'll have. Pit Fiend is okay. Oh, if this had immune to retaliation, it would be a lot better. I mean, let's try the Pit Fiend. Attack anyways. It's a good keyword. Soul Reaver, definitely. We can go very aggressive with this. How many 2-drops do we have? We have 4. I think it's probably okay. Though, I mean, it gets blocked by a lot of other 2-drops. Let's just go with the Urge Balls. I think I like the Tormentor here. I think we just want to have a few more creatures, actually. Ooh, now this is a hard choice. But I think this is just too good. And we probably won't have the Soul Reavers until later on because we want to be increasing our might earlier on. So I think I want to go with this. And I liked this card before. So no reason to pick it. Want to pick it. Ooh. The Bounce Succubus is very tempting. And I'm not completely convinced on this card yet. We already have 2 of them, so let's try this. Alone in the Dark or this. Let's see what kind of spells we have. It does combo well with the Spell Steal, but we only have 1 of them. I think I just want something a bit more. They already have a couple 4-drops, don't we? Well, let's try the Alone in the Dark. I mean, you definitely need some removal. Nothing really good here. Let's just go the Mystic Strand. Ooh. This is a hard one. Now, Juggernaut is such a good card. It really is, and I can imagine it being better in draft format. But Akrath's Wrath, it can give us somewhere to get back onto the board. But you know what? I think I want to commit to the good creatures, back them up with spells. Let's go Juggernaut. We're in too far. I don't know about this card. It's so easy for your opponent to play around. Doesn't seem like it's doing enough. Maybe it's worth a spot, but probably the Fate Bender here. I mean, 2/2/5 shooter is fine. I mean, let's see what this does. We'll give it a shot. I don't really like it. Ooh. Now we're getting all the creatures suddenly. All the good ones. They're all pretty good. It's probably going to be between these 2. I think Juggernaut's too good. Let's just pick Juggernaut. Hellfire Maniac seems pretty obvious here. Don't really want any of these, so let's go Hellfire. not a lot of good options here. I mean, it has Swift. Maybe it's worth it just, it's 5 mana. Yeah, he'll obviously not going to be relevant, most likely. So let's just try it. Really like this card. I'm just going to keep picking it whenever it comes up, most likely. Yeah. None of these seem very good. Maybe Inner Fire is better than Void Arbiter. Just work as a secondary fireball most of the time, and push in damage if we need it. Alright, so it looks like we're onto the events. We have 1 Hellfire Boidle. So that's leading me to Week of the Dead. 3 or more creatures this turn. I mean, it can work late game. Let's see what else we're getting. I think I'm going to run the Week of the Dead because it likely won't. I don't think this will be any more beneficial to us most of the time. And I feel like most of our opponents won't be able to make use of Week of the Dead as well as we can, even though we only have 1 Hellfire Blood. It's still something. Week of the Mercenaries seems like a good choice. Yeah. Let's go to the Time of the War. Some interesting choices here. Path of the Ancestors. I mean, we have a lot of things to target. Do we, actually? Yeah. Because even Alone in the Dark counts as being targeted. Maybe you just try this. I mean, or maybe Magic Shield actually would be a bit better. Yeah, I think I'll prefer that. One of these two, definitely. Most things are demon, so that seems fine. Yeah, I think I actually prefer this one. A bit more consistent and won't really help our opponent, most likely. This seems like it'll only work against us. Being the aggressive deck, we're probably fine taking some damage and drawing cards, so I think I'll choose that one. I wonder how much healing there actually will be. I think I actually prefer this card. Could be wrong, and probably another one of these. Alright, so that is the draft complete. I know the video's probably been going for a while, guys, and I do apologize for that. I think I might play 1 game just to show you guys how the deck goes. Let's see if we're allowed to edit the deck, actually. Are you allowed to take things out? Let's see here. Okay, so you can have 59 cards. Alright, so obviously we're going to take this out because that was just a big mistake. Quite an embarrassing one at that. So now we gotta figure out which of the 6 worst cards we currently have. Well, I don't feel there was too much that we drafted that was bad. I don't like the Hell Hand. It's just not gonna do anything. And what else don't I like? Don't like Moonsilk Fetters. A lot of better things to do, and I don't like Fire Shield. Don't like Wither. What else do I like? Probably don't like this either. And I think we just want to stick to the idea, solid creatures. Probably one of the 3 drops, actually. I don't really like Urgeable so much. Yeah, so that's very rough. So many spells I don't like, actually. Maybe we don't want this. Yeah, I don't think I want that, actually. And let's bring in back one of the Urgeables. Okay, I think that's okay. So, yeah, guys, first time playing the deck. Might as well use this. So, yeah, it did take me a little bit to get to the Squire rank, just because there have been some connection issues with the Chinese servers. Hopefully we won't encounter any of them today. But I mean, I'm honestly super excited for the draft format to come over to the English servers. It's really good fun. So much different possibilities you can explore. I mean, you got 12 heroes to choose from. So, versing a Char, maybe? I don't know how to say it, actually. Doesn't seem like we can keep this hand at all. Okay, so this is an okay hand. Our curve isn't looking amazing at the moment, though we probably can curve into a 4-drop. You know, I think the main thing with this is really just to fix a curve. So we can go 2, and then we can go into a 4-drop. That's probably the best idea here. We could think about putting it behind here and just bluffing that we have a firebolt, but he could also have a firebolt, so we're not going to risk it. I mean, we also have that, but yeah. No need to get fancy, guys. No need to get fancy. And we can even play this next turn if we want to challenge this. Though there's so many good creatures we could play next turn, so which we definitely want to be doing. Do we want to challenge this? That's a good question. Or do we just play this? I feel like the attack anywhere creatures, you want to get them out early. So let's give it a go. And this is kind of a bit more situational. If you're behind in the board, you're not going to be able to get this one out very effectively, because they're just going to be able to kill it. And it has weak stats by itself. So it's basically, we can get the kill on this, pretty much guaranteed, especially since you can't deal with it because of Path of the Ancestors. And yeah, so that's what I thought he might do. But you know, we can probably just continue up with something behind here, and he'll have a hard time challenging this. Okay, so he is really trying to kill it. This might play into the Hellfire Maniac we'll have the turn after. I mean, we could be very obvious and play this, but that doesn't seem very smart. And let's probably just play our best creature. Though maybe this is better off playing, because if we play it something like here, then he'll have a hard time blocking it without damaging his own creatures. Any kind of spells he might play next turn. I can't think of too many spells that we're that worried about. Maybe a Firebolt, but does the 1/1 help that much then? And maybe we play just because it's a bit better. I think we just play it because it's the better creature. Gotta stop trying to get a bit... Stop trying to get fancy, you know. Just play solid creatures, positions. So yeah, we can just play Hellfire Maniac next turn and we're fine here. Ooh. Hopefully he plays that without an adjacent creature so we can deal with it. Okay. So, this is a big guy. Do we just stick to the plan of Hellfire Maniac and move this? Then we can start to have no adjacent creatures. It does seem like a good idea. Any merit to just playing this in front of it? It's probably a bit risky. Let's just play the Hellfire Maniac. And move this. So if he firebolts it, we still get a round 1/1. Yep. Ooh. I mean, it blocked 4 damage. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't play something here or here, so we can Alone in the Dark. Maybe you have to do it twice. Rage charge. Okay. So guys, I'm really loving this draft format. It's just so many different cards you don't interact with very often. Ooh, where's he gonna play that? Okay. So we got the 3 Alone in the Dark kill. Plus we will get a 1/1, which is always nice. Oh, another Hellfire Maniac. This is looking really nice. So, it is a bit off curve, but we can always play something like this. So I think we're going to play that. And we get the stack. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what we wanted necessarily, but... So we're playing the Urge Will's minion. Probably in front of this, because it just stands to trade for free, and there's no good way for him to deal with it. Though we can always play in front of the Elephant. But let's just block some damage. Block a bit more damage. Attack here. And then hit for 3. So I think we're in decent shape here. And we're going to be increasing our magic because we have a Soul Reaver and an Enthrall. And I don't think we had anything on 6 might. So I think we're in a decent position here. I mean, Stronghold does have some high HP creatures, so it can be harder for Inferno to push through, especially if you don't have a lot of removal, but we've managed to get a nice little mix. We have another Hellfire Maniac in our hand, which should be huge. Have Alone in the Dark in case we need to pick off anything big. One thing I'm expecting out of the draft format is probably more power lanes than you're used to seeing, just because there's probably less removal, especially the less specific removal that can really punish you. Okay, so that's completely fine. Really didn't do that much. So, and we're looking fine with pressure on the life total. Our life total's fine. We still have plenty of big guys to play. So yeah, I don't think there's been any announcements of when we can expect to get drafted on the English shifts. But I mean, we can expect to get it one time, hopefully. And I'm honestly looking forward to it quite a lot. So, I have a lot of options here. I was thinking about playing the Hellfire Maniac, but I just don't know if it's necessary. Now, the main issue we're having at the moment is that we can't play 2 spells in one turn very effectively. But I think I just want to play this here. And, you know, we'll accept that this might die. This will die, but I just don't think it matters that much. I mean, there's no way really to move it unless we're going to move it everywhere. Okay, so we're actually pressuring his life total quite a lot. This will be very annoying to deal with, though. Though maybe we can snipe it with Alone in the Dark. Alone in the Dark Hellfire Maniac seems like a good turn if he plays another creature. But doesn't look like that. Ah, Magic Shield until next turn. Okay, looks like that backfired a little bit. See, Alone in the Dark here. Probably just playing Hellfire Maniac here. No dark creatures at the moment. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking Hellfire Maniac, definitely on this. And probably just play this, maybe. How to deal with this is a good question. Yes, that is a hard question. Can we even do something with his ability? Whoops. What kind? We don't have that many fire creatures in hand, actually. Yeah. So, let's start off with this. And let's just play this. And move this here, so it's protected. Do we want to move this? That's the question. I mean, three attacks not that easy to do. And do we want to attack here? I think we do. I mean, Fireball will be a bit annoying, but we still get the 1/1. And increase our magic. Yep. Okay. I'm fine with this, really. And we can start playing a couple creatures in one turn. And I mean, this guy in an empty lane should be pretty hard if he has no removal. And we've kind of expended most of it, I'd say. Especially with the overkill damage, that should be huge. I mean, I guess this is actually quite a big problem for it, but there's a lot of choices. And I do once again apologize for the video length. I mean, this does take a while, I think. But hopefully I can If you guys want to see some more games, you can tell me in the comments, and I can maybe break some more draft games into progress. If you guys are more interested in the drafting, then I can just do a video of me actually drafting the deck. Basically whatever you guys want. But yeah, I'm really excited for the draft format. So many cards, you haven't interacted with much. And it does give a purpose for some of the bad cards, which is what a lot of people always tend to wonder with card games, is why do we have these bad cards that seemingly do nothing. Okay. We may need to deal with the preemptive striker. So all we can do is we can Death Seal and Alone in the Dark, but then we're not doing anything else this turn. Maybe we just roll the dice on Alone in the Dark. If either way, it seems pretty decent because we get him for 2 damage. And then we probably follow up with one of these. So let's just draw a card first. Always want to draw a card first. Let's just try this. Okay, so I think that's good. And I don't know, maybe we want to move this. Let's just force him to have the answers. This is very hard for him to deal with. He has to have specific answers. And I mean, if he doesn't have removal, if he has like an insect swarm, maybe he's fine here, but even then I don't mind if he has an insect swarm. So yeah, sometimes you gotta say to your opponent, do you have the answers? If not, you're dead. And I think that's what we're doing here. And there's no way you can play Broken Bridge or anything, so that's probably one of the better answers against it. And we have the Death Seal, so if you can only put one blocker, play the Death Seal, attack for lethal. And that looks like what might happen here. Yeah, so I think basically the way that works after the draft is done is you pay a certain amount of gold and you get to choose to keep which cards, in case any of you were wondering. So yeah, I probably won't keep any of the cards from however this draft ends up, because it's not my main account or anything, and I'll keep all my gold for drafting, so I can hopefully make some more videos for you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm sure it's been quite a long video. I'm sure many people have already stopped watching. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really enjoyed it. If you want to see some more draft videos, more of the games from this draft, just leave me a comment below. I really enjoyed drafting, so tell us what you want to see, and I'll keep making these videos. Thanks a lot, guys.